Good evening. Hello. Welcome back to 1874. It's time for a match reaction show straight on the whistle as Villa beat Maccabi Tel Aviv 2-0 at Villa Park. This show is sponsored by Match Bingo. Scan the QR code on the screen or head to 1874.io/matchbingo and you can buy bingo cards around all the football and sport that's on at the moment. And if you buy 4, you'll get 1 free. And just by signing up, you help us as a channel. So if you could do that for me, that would be really appreciated. But as always, please gamble responsibly. You may note that I am in my office rather than walking out of Villa Park. I have just been struggling for the last few days, failed a fitness test with everything that was going on. Just kind of felt like it wasn't worth it. I'm delighted to see that there was no trouble, very little trouble. I've not seen anything on social media or in the news, but obviously fans walking out the ground now. I hope it's still safe now coming out the ground, but just really pleased that Villa fans managed to get into the ground safely, and all the stuff that was going on, all the stuff away from the football didn't seem to affect Villa fans at all. So that's great. Villa fans hopefully are travelling home safely right now as I'm doing this live on YouTube at 7 minutes past 10 in the evening. Good win. Good time to score a goal, I think, on half-time. Ian Maatsen, I think we struggled to really get going and set any kind of tempo into our game in the first half, but I always think it's difficult when, 1, you make so many changes and Villa made 5, 2, a team is so compact and deep. And to be fair to Maccabi as well, I think they were actually better than maybe some people would give them credit for, and they certainly should have gone 1-0 up really in that game. Had a great chance that Martinez saved. Great to see him make a couple of saves this evening after what happened at the weekend. And in the end, it's a comfortable victory for Villa, 2-0 second half. We scored right before half time and we got a goal pretty quickly after half time as well. Got to say, as people are alluding to in the chat, did not think it was a penalty. If that penalty had been given against us, I'd have been asking all kinds of questions. Very, very dubious penalty, and a shock to see Villa score a goal from the penalty spot as well, as that's not something that we do very often. Certainly not this season anyway. Adam in the chat, good evening. Adam says 6 arrests, but nothing major. Thankfully, I did see the clip of the one lad getting arrested. Not much context around it, but I did see him getting arrested. Let's see who's joined us on the screen. A lot of people called Adam on the chat tonight. So if your name's Adam, you're obviously enjoying 1874 and all the content. The Bladdernator says at 25 minutes, I was convinced Tel Aviv would win. I always felt that we'd get the job done. I always felt that we would win tonight. I think it was a business-like performance in the end. Will it mean anything moving forward? We lost to Liverpool. Is it good to have had that game on a Thursday and get the feeling of winning again and maybe set ourselves on the way to winning again on Sunday against Bournemouth? Certainly under Unai Emery, when we've been playing on Thursday nights, our record after those games has been pretty good, and it's pretty helpful. I think that after a lot of our games in Europe so far this season, we've been playing at Villa Park on the Sunday, so that's great. We're obviously so good at home. You could hear the commentary team talking about Villa's record at home. We are just ruthless at Villa Park. Very few bad days at that stadium under Unai Emery, and getting a win back under our belts is probably it can't be a bad thing, can it? I don't know. I said when we lost to Go Ahead Eagles that you got to back it up and win against Manchester City. I didn't think the go-ahead Eagles performance affected Villa then, so what's happened tonight probably shouldn't affect things too much. But after you've lost a game like we did against Liverpool, it can't be a bad thing to get a win and move ourselves up the Europa League table. Again, we've got Richard Ford, who's in from Mallorca. Hello, Richard Ford. Good evening. I presume it's evening there as well. We've got who else have we got? Great Briton says a 2-0 victory, a dodgy penalty call, lucky to escape with a clean sheet. This team is excruciatingly bad. Okay, disagree with that, but that's fine. Entitled to your opinion. Adam says Martinez loves a shocking pass recently too. Yeah, he does seem to have a bit of a ricket in his locker with the ball at his feet at the moment. Let's get this one out of the way on a Thursday. Nothing like that on Sunday, please. Martinez, hopefully he's got it out of his system tonight. I didn't think he'd play, actually. I was surprised to see him named in the lineup. So good for him to get a clean sheet. Did make a couple of good saves as well, Martinez. So good to see him back on form. big thing from the night. He won't get lost because he's been such an unbelievable servant, and I talk about him all the time. But McGinn making his 300th appearance for the club, just fantastic. He didn't need to be brought on, really. We've seen previously Emery likes to bring people into the game if he thinks they're going to play on Sunday. If they don't start on a Thursday, so he did it with McGinn, he did it with Watkins, maybe Buendia and some other players as well, getting them onto the pitch just to get some minutes in them ahead of Sunday. That's good to see, and it was, it's great to see him make his 300th appearance. What a servant he has been for the football club. Max and I spoke in the pre-match show about John McGinn as he'd signed the new contract the day we did the show. Just what a servant for the club and a modern-day club legend. Thought he was absolutely brilliant to see Yuri Tillemans back on the pitch. Did not realise he'd missed 10 games. That's staggering. He was our player of the year last season. He was the best player in a Villa shirt all season long. Probably gone a little bit under the radar that we've been missing him for the majority of the season. So great to see him back out there as well. He is that pass straight away, his first touch, absolutely fantastic. That's just what Yuri Tillemans does on his wrong foot. Such a disguised pass. He's such a clever player. A player I've always rated. Absolutely love seeing him in a Villa shirt. Wayne Rumbold just says, "Guess on." Yep. I'm probably alluding to the fact his performance was just no more than okay, I guess. But Avon Barksdale even says Yuri is class, glad he's back. And Michael Dimmock says Yuri's going to make a huge difference going forward. Tim Roberts says he loves the show. Thank you very much, Tim. Best part was a number of players had a chance to get game time into their legs. P.S. Conser has moved on to another level this season. Yep, I would agree with that. Conser is he's just a Rolls Royce at the back, just a complete class act, and I actually think the same. I think he's taken his game up another level this season, and I think the fact that he's become one of the vice captains has been really good for him as well. First time leading out Villa from the start away from pre-season friendlies. I think this evening, so great to see Conser wearing the armband with McGinn on the bench. Important to get those minutes in. I referenced that we made 5 changes. Bogard and Lindelof in particular, I think getting some minutes into them just in case at the moment when we're now a centre back down. I think that was really, really important for Lindelof to get a run at left centre back as well, just in case he has to fill in there at some point. I hope there was nothing wrong with Pau Torres. I assume he was just taken off to rest him ahead of Sunday. Hopefully nothing untoward there. But I was relieved to see Pau Torres come off the pitch and rested, because without Mings, we're going to be relying on him very, very heavily. And we need that guy, and we need him at his best on top form. Adam says, no Elliott again. Absolutely says it all. He's just not having him, is he, at the moment, for whatever reason? If he's not coming on there, geez, it's going to be difficult for him to get some football for this football club, unless there's an array of injuries and suspensions. I hope to God he's going to work his way into the team and that something clicks and something changes. But I feel for him. If I'm being honest, I think it must be tough for him at the moment. That's the last 5 games maybe he's been an unused sub 4 times, and obviously couldn't play against Liverpool. Didn't get picked for the Man City game on the bench either. It's tough for him at the moment. I spoke to someone a couple of days ago about Harvey Elliott, and they said he hasn't let it get him down. He's still been really good around the training ground, great attitude, and everyone's really impressed with him. But it must be getting tough for him to stomach what's going on at the moment. Something doesn't feel right, does it? And I'm desperate to see him succeed at Villa, because I think he's a really, really good footballer. But at the moment, Emery just doesn't trust him to come into games. And as I say, if he's not coming on in a game like that, it's going to be very difficult for him to get any minutes in the near future. David Stiles, David, thank you very much for always supporting the channel. You're always on these lives, always commenting. I really, really appreciate it. It says, watched the game on my way home from the pub on my phone. Seemed like a COVID era game. Professional performance, all told. Yeah, look, there was a lot of empty seats, wasn't there? Not surprising. Had this been a normal game, maybe away with all the other stuff going on, even though I'm feeling rubbish, I probably would have forced myself to go. But with everything that was happening, not really wanting to drag my dad through it, and just feeling rubbish myself, I just thought, I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. So I didn't, and I'm sure other people will have had reasons for not coming tonight. But it did lead to an emptier than usual Villa Park. I think if all the other stuff wasn't going on, I don't think it's a full house by any stretch of the imagination, and they must be struggling to shift some of those corporate packages for these games. But I do think there'd have been more people there. as I say, I believe there was no real trouble, which is absolutely brilliant. And hopefully that's the case coming out the ground as well. But look, I completely understand why people would choose not to go tonight, not to take young children, not to take the elderly. I completely understand that. Lincolnshire villain Tony says Yuri is so vital to this team. His vision for a pass is incredible. I could wax lyrical about that pass all night on his wrong foot. Just so clever. What a footballer! It's going to be great to see him coming back into the fray. It's going to be interesting to see what happens actually, because obviously Kamara is a lock, one of the first names on the team sheet. I think he likes Anana in there next to Kamara as well. Tielemans was playing as a central 10 at the start of the season, but maybe he plays a little bit more there. But I do think there may be some games as well where you see Kamara potentially move back one into centre back, and then he plays Anana and Tielemans together as well. But great to have him back. So he's a leader as well. I noticed when he came on as well, there was a period where Bogard was started to overlap, which usually when he's playing at right back he doesn't do. Tielemans just had the nous to just say to Kamara, he's bombed on. You need to drop in and make a back three now, and that's how we're going to play on the ball. He's a real leader in this squad and a real trusted lieutenant of Unai Emery as well. I think McGinn is one of the lieutenants on the pitch. I think Tielemans definitely is as well. Unai trusts him and puts a lot through him as well verbally, like he used to with Douglas Luiz before he departed. Wayne Rumbold says, yippee, a penalty taker at last. Yep, great penalty from Malen. Oddly, just never doubted that he would not put the ball in the back of the net. Just fancied him to score, didn't you? Which isn't been how you felt when Villa have had penalties in recent times. The problem moving forward with that is if we get a penalty, there's probably a 20% chance that Malen will be on the pitch in the Premier League, because he just doesn't seem to start many, does he? So maybe it's a case of bringing him on next time we get a penalty. I did think Rodgers would take it. Actually, I was surprised that Rodgers didn't fancy it and didn't take it. But a great penalty from Malen, drilled into the bottom left hand side, and great to see him on the score sheet again every time he plays. To me, he takes his chance. He does what he can with the minutes that he's given. Be interesting to see if he starts on Sunday. Obviously, there'll be a preview show on this channel ahead of them. I probably would go with at the moment lean towards a no. But he's a great player, Malen. Definitely one of my favourites. Really, really, really love the guy. Ad says Yuri is class, but to be fair, we've done well in the 10 games without him. Yeah. Decent shout. Like I said, gone under the radar a little bit that we've been without last year's player of the season. Probably not under the radar of Villa fans, because we all know how crucial he is, but maybe from the outside, people haven't kind of clicked that Tielemans hasn't been there. Great options. Barkley was missing at the start of the season. Now he's back as well. Absolutely brilliant to the competition we've got in that central midfield area. We're so strong. When you chuck in that Bogard and McGinn can play there with the four that we've got as well, we're just so well stocked in central midfield. We can start to rotate now with the busy schedule. We've put ourselves in a good position tonight as well in the Europa League, winning 3 out of 4. So moving forward, I'd expect us to make changes and freshen it up and give people minutes. Interesting that Barkley was on the bench. I didn't realise this, but Jacob Tanswell, sneaky squad registration boy, he tweeted that because Tyrone Mings is injured, we can replace him in the squad. That's a new initiative this season. So Mings has gone out the squad, and Ross Barkley, who wasn't picked initially, has come back in, but Ross himself didn't get on the pitch tonight. Christopher Trotter, bit of a niche opinion here. I've not seen many people say this. Thought Sancho did well tonight, unlocks a lot of things down the left, draws players away from the fullback, runs like JJ. Yeah, he was always Ramsey's replacement. I think he was always going to play left 10 for Villa. I know Jacob's mooted about him perhaps playing the right-hand side, which is a bit of a problem position for Villa at the moment. But for me, there's only really one, like Ramsey, there's only really one space in that team for him. And I think it's playing as a left 10. He does carry those similar traits as Jacob Ramsey as well. Showed some nice flashes again tonight. Did some nice things. I think he probably gave the ball away a little bit more than he has done in his previous outings, and a little bit more than I would like, and probably a little bit more than Unai Emery would like. But there's something there, isn't there? Maybe a little bit low on confidence. Jadon Sancho, I don't know, but there's something there. I think there's something to work with, and I'd expect him to get games moving forward as well. Russell J. says we might as well not have a right side without Cash. it's definitely, if you to pick out one area that's a problem for Villa at the moment, it's definitely that right hand side. People previously had said that, combine the right back and the right wing, has it been a problem side for Villa? But Cash has been excellent so far this season, and I've always rated him anyway. The right wing position, that's the problem position for Villa at the moment. I don't think we've got kind of the answer there. Best performance I've seen on the right hand side this season was probably John McGinn against Burnley in a system that just worked with Malen playing as that 10. Other than that, anyone else playing there has struggled to shine. I would say so. It's going to be interesting to see what we do moving forward with that. Whether it's something that we try and rectify in January, because we're trying to put Gesson out there to be that genuine winger who holds width. But to me, it's just not his game. He's struggling. It wasn't the way he played in France either. So that's the problem position for Villa. If I was to query one position in the squad at the moment, it's definitely that right hand side. For me, we have to be going the route of playing 3 number 10s moving forward. And if we do that, you got to let Cash go forward, and Kamara, Bogard, and Nana, whoever, they drop in and make a back 3 on the ball, and we just get width that way through Cash, because it's the only way I think we're going to be effective down that side. So I'd be happy with that. The three number 10s working off volley, and let Cash go forward, and Kamara and Bogard are good enough to drop in and make that back 3. Michael Dimmock says, love Bogard, always backed him. Yeah, I thought he did well last season. Got better every time he came on the pitch, and then kind of disappeared a little bit towards the end of the season because we'd signed Asasi and everyone was fit again, so he didn't get much football, didn't get on the bench too many times. Everything he's done this season has been good. Every cameo he's made has been good. Every time he started, he's been good as well. He's probably been a little bit unlucky in terms of the minutes that he's had. Probably deserved more considering how he has played when he's been on the pitch. But he's just such a brilliant player to have in the squad because he can do so many different things. You see him tonight. He's played as a 6 and then he's moved to right back. And I just think he gains confidence every time he pulls on that Villa shirt. Every time he puts on his boots at Villa Park, I just think he starts to gain some confidence. Bogard, so he's going to be a really useful player. He's a really, really good player and a really valuable member of the squad at the moment as well. So fair play. Excellent. Again, Bogard, every time he plays, again, a bit like Malen, every time he plays, I see something that I really, really like from him. So that's it. We've done 17 minutes. I think we've kind of summed up the game as well as we can between us, me and the people on the chat. So thank you very much to the over 200 of you that are in the chat at the moment talking to me live. Without you, with these post-match shows, there'd be no show. So thanks very much. Thanks for joining in, and thanks for letting me know your thoughts. If you haven't been in the live chat and you're watching on YouTube, do let us know in the comments what you thought of the game, who your man of the match was, whether you agree with what me and the people in the chat are saying, and give a like as well. And don't forget to subscribe with your post notifications on. If you're listening via Apple Podcasts, if you could leave us a 5-star review and say something nice about us, that would be great. If you could, sorry, I can't talk all of a sudden. If you're on Spotify as well, you can watch via video now. Let me know if you've shifted over from YouTube to Spotify video in the comments if you are watching on Spotify, but you can also listen as well via Spotify. So yeah, that added functionality has come in the last couple of weeks. Hopefully people who use Spotify are enjoying that added bonus. I did see someone comment the other day that they'd only ever listened to me and never seen what I looked like before. Hopefully a nice surprise, but let's face it, it probably wasn't. I will be back tomorrow with the Stato preview show, the stat pack ahead of Aston Villa against Bournemouth, and there'll be the general match preview as well, either on Friday night or Saturday morning. It's then the dreaded international break, but I have got some stuff lined up already, so there'll still be plenty of content on the channel through the international break as well, so watch out for that. Thank you very much, Wayne Rumbold in the chat saying keep up the great content. I'm trying. I'm doing my best. I'm even doing thumbnails now. I'm trying to do everything that I can to make this channel as good and as successful as it can be. I'm glad so many people enjoy it. I'm just sorry I wasn't at Villa Park tonight, but hopefully the rest will do me good, and I'll be fully firing when I travel to Villa Park on Sunday with my dad to watch us play Bournemouth. There'll be loads of content around the match day as well, so do watch out for that. I'm going to start rambling. Thank you very much for all the support on the channel, and thank you for tuning in tonight. Take care of yourselves. I hope if you've been at the game, you get back safely with no trouble. Take care, and once again,